Hello wrestling fans, in this video we're going to be ranking every single mode in WWE 2K22. WWE 2K22 was released back in March of this year, and after almost 3 months of playing, it's time to out which modes worked, which didn't, and which modes need to be improved. Each mode is going to be ranked into one of 5 tiers, those being, it hits different, which means the mode is great, good, indifferent, bad, and WWE 2K20, which means it's worse than bad. For the purpose of this video, our ranking will be focused on if the mode works, if it's enjoyable, and how it stands against previous years. So let's start with the core mode of the game, Exhibition. Exhibition, or as it's called in 2K22, Play, is probably where I spend most of my time in any WWE game. And albeit it's not really a mode, it's the core aspect of the game, as all actual modes take things from it. For example, match types, gameplay, basically all the bits a player would play. In terms of gameplay, and this is now me speaking as a player as opposed to a creator, I think 2K22 is fun. The gameplay does hit different. Just as the tagline states, it's faster, more enjoyable, and you can have great matches whether you're playing against another player, challenging the AI, or letting the AI go head to head, but that does require a bit of tweaking with the sliders. So gameplay hits different, but overall Exhibition could be better. There's not nearly enough match types for one-on-ones, tag teams, or trios matches. There isn't really any special match types either. No casket matches, inferno matches, war games, not even something simple like special guest referee. If there was at least a couple of new match types, I'd be ranking Exhibition in it hits different, but with nothing really new and not as many match types as in the past, I'm going to rank Exhibition in good. Showcase. Rey Mysterio being the spotlight for this mode certainly re-engaged my interest in 2K Showcase. Mysterio's career spans from ECW to WCW then to WWE, but Showcase only really covers the bare minimum with just 12 matches in total. The matches themselves are fun to play and the in-game cutscenes are pretty cool, but I can't say I was a fan of the newly introduced real life content, which Showcase jumps in and out of during each match. If I wanted to watch real life content, I'd fire up the WWE network, but I don't. I want to play the game, and instead of having real life content, I feel like these moments should be more interactive to make the overall mode more immersive. In comparison to previous Showcase modes, I think the in-game objectives are better. It doesn't make me feel like I'm playing 2K Towers, but the Showcase itself isn't better than Showcase rivalries of John Cena vs CM Punk and Triple H vs Shawn Michaels in 2K15, where I felt like I was playing out those journeys. With the Mysterio Showcase, it tends to feel like you're just playing random matches. For what it is, 12 matches with in-game cinematic moments, Showcase is pretty good, besides the real life content not making the mode any better. I also feel just 12 matches from such an illustrious career isn't that great, and even more so with some questionable match choices. For example, Rey Mysterio vs Samoa Joe, and Rey Mysterio vs Grand Metalik. Not exactly Mysterio classics. So for Rey Mysterio's Showcase, it's just okay. It could be a lot better, so I'm going to rank it as indifferent. Universe. Universe mode is so far from being a universe, it's shameful to be given the name. WWE 2K22 has given Universe mode zero love, no improvements, and it's pretty damn broken. If you are somehow able to play this mode, you'll no doubt get a lesser experience than what you've had in previous installments. The USP of Universe mode this year was Superstar mode, suited up as a new feature, but it's really not. Superstar mode allows you to play the Universe experience through one superstar of your choosing. This mode has been so passed over that even the devs didn't seem to know this is possible in Classic mode by only playing one superstar's matches and simulating all the rest. I personally think it's a great shame. The Classic mode has the description original sandbox mode with total freedom, but it's anything but that. Hopefully in future installments it will be better and receive the love it deserves, but for 2K22 Universe, it's getting dumped in worse than bad in WWE 2K20. MyFaction. MyFaction, from what I gather, was intended to be an ultimate team type of mode. You open packs, collect cards, and use the most powerful ones to build a strong MyFaction. The only problem is that modes such as Ultimate Team let you use everything I just said in competitive play online, and MyFaction doesn't have online. For me, online is key to this mode. That's the point of opening packs and collecting cards, to utilise my collection to crush other players with my OP faction. There isn't even a leaderboard to compare your faction or collection with other players. The only competitive aspect in MyFaction is against the AI in 3 different sub-modes: Proving Grounds, Faction Wars, and the dreaded weekly towers. I'll have you know that I can't stand towers ever since they were brought in 2K19, but all these sub-modes have you do is grind out wins against the AI to earn MyFaction rewards, which aren't particularly great. Another complaint I have about the mode is that everything you unlock or open in packs remains locked down to MyFaction. Receiving a superstar is not transferable to other modes in the game, which is pretty disappointing. No doubt MyFaction will improve in future installments, and I can almost guarantee it will make the jump to online in 2K23. As it stands, the card collection aspect and rewards isn't enough to make me want to play, so for MyFaction, it's going in bad. MyGM. My experience with MyGM has been enjoyable. It does have a competitive aspect to it. Unlike MyFaction, the AI with MyGM isn't just about playing matches, but rather being smarter than the AI with booking shows. The AI's intelligence in the mode is just okay, but I do feel it needs to be more smart and more WWE minded to make this mode more of a WWE experience. An example of the AI not being very WWE minded was in my first booking war. The AI decided to have 2 tables matches and a Hell in a Cell, which took place in the confines of a high school gym. The booking alone of 2 tables matches and a Hell in a Cell in one show wasn't very WWE, and the venue is another dislike altogether, and something I'd like to change in future installments. MyGM should be as realistic as it gets, so hosting brands like NXT, Raw and SmackDown in a high school gym just doesn't work. I understand the idea of working your way up as a GM, but let's do it in a realistic manner in the WWE environment, with say NXT or SmackDown arenas being rather basic until you invest in some upgrades. MyGM can also feel a little repetitive at times. Book show, simulate, see result. That's about it. Maybe throw in a few interactive cutscenes to break things up. Overall, MyGM is a decent mode, and I can only see it getting better as long as visual concepts keep it realistic to WWE. So for MyGM, I'm going to rank this mode as good. MyRise. Lastly, we have MyRise, and I wanted to show you what happens every time I go to play MyRise. Now at this point, this is where the game usually bricks, but surprisingly on this instant, it didn't. Instead, it bricked here. Great. So I can't actually play MyRise because I can't get past the create a wrestler screen to create Delzinski. With me not being able to play this mode and this entire ranking about my experience with each of these modes, this is clearly bad. However, if I was actually able to play this mode, and from watching others' experience with MyRise, I would have probably ranked this one as good, as there seems to be plenty of depth with storylines. In addition to multiple paths that you can take with these storylines, the storylines themselves look fun and entertaining, and the presentation for the most part looks very good, and I even saw this with my brief play with that first scene. So to wrap up ranking every mode in WWE 2K22, My personal experience with MyRise is bad, but if I got to rank it by playing it, it would have probably been good. So there you have it. That was every mode in WWE 2K22 ranked. Out of 6 modes, we had 2 as good, 1 indifferent, 2 ended up in bad, and 1 found itself worse than bad in WWE 2K20. If you enjoyed this ranking, make sure you drop a like on the video and let us know what you'd like to see ranked when it comes to WWE games. But for now, thanks for watching.